Inscryption. Holy shit, this is a great game. I recently finished Inscryption, and after soaking in everything, I can certainly say that this is one of the greatest card games I've ever played. There were so many twists and turns that made the game pull in different directions that I could have never expected. Just before we begin, I just wanted to say that there will be spoilers about this game. To begin, Inscryption on a basic level is a card game where your goal is to deal enough damage to tilt the scale completely in your favor, while your opponent tries to do the same. Your ultimate goal is to beat all the bosses starting from nothing and slowly building your deck as the game gets harder and harder. At the beginning of a round of Inscryption, you draw 4 cards, 3 from your main deck and 1 from your side deck. Each card from the main deck requires a sacrifice which can range from bones to blood, and that information is displayed on the top right of the card. In the beginning, there are only 2 resources to manage: blood and bones. Bones are collected when a card dies, and blood is gained from, well, a sacrifice. And that's what your side deck is for. Your side deck are squirrels. Squirrels require no blood to be placed and thus are perfect for placing down your main deck. When placing down your main card, simply sacrifice the required amount of squirrels to meet the blood requirement, or have the necessary bones to place down the card. Then, you must strike the bell and begin your attack. When attacking, only empty spaces will tilt the scale. If anything is in the way, it will result in no change on the scale. Whenever the scale reaches all the way over on one side, you win, and continue progressing. By now, I'm sure you've noticed the cards and sometimes the strange symbols in the middle of those cards. Well, to elaborate upon this, the damage on the card is displayed on the bottom left, while the health is displayed on the bottom right of the card. In Inscryption, when a card's health reaches 0, it dies and returns a bone token. And when a card does 0 damage, it does not attack, and it does not use its symbol if the symbol was to attack. Finally, the symbol in the middle is another mechanic of Inscryption that demonstrates how complex this game can get. These symbols are called sigils. Sigils grant cards special abilities like dropping more bones when perishing, or attacking the enemy directly, affecting the scale, rather than the creature in front of it. Depending on the symbol, it activates when the card is played, when the card attacks, and when the card dies, or even sacrificed. These symbols add a layer of complexity to every battle because both sides can use symbols, turning even the simple encounters into tense fights where a single mistake can cost you the entire run. Wait. But what if you die? In Inscryption, when the scale tilts all the way over on your side during battle, you will lose a lit candle, and when you run out of lit candles, you die. But when you die in Inscryption, they take approach differently from any other game, allowing you to make a death card, which is sort of a collective of that run's deck into a single card. To make that death card, you must choose the cost of a card, the health and damage of the card, and then the sigil of the card. But lastly, and most importantly, you need to get a portrait. The portrait of you is trapped forever in a card inside a tiny little game, forever doomed to be played, killed, sacrificed. What I'm trying to say is, whenever you die, you make a death card. And all of this will come into importance a little later in this video. Continuing through, when not in battle, the game places down a map with a pawn on top, acting as your character, mimicking games such as D&D, because not everything in Inscryption is a battle. As you progress through the map, there are different places to stop at. These locations provide the player with buffs to their deck, depending on where you stop at. For example, you could go to a card shop and receive additional cards to your deck, or another example could be stopping at an item shop, where you receive special one-time use items that you can use in battle before the attacking phase. There are many different places that aid you towards your goal, and if I described all of them, this video would be way too long, so I'm only going to be describing these two, as some other ones will be explained soon or in another video. Now leading up to the best part of the game, bosses. There are 3 different types of battles, one being regular battles, the next being special battles, and the third being boss battles. Regular battles I've already covered, so moving on to the special battles. Special battles, when commenced, receive a totem on the enemy's side that buff the creatures on their side for said specific team. You can also receive these totems by visiting a wood carver and selecting a totem from them. Regardless though, these totems only provide sigils to the represented head of each totem, like a cockroach, only affecting bugs, on whatever side the totem is on. While the special battles are cool, the most important battles are the boss battles. Each boss provides a unique fight that centers around each of their gimmicks, and having 2 phases rather than 1. Like all of the other battles now, I will describe them in each order, for each boss you face. The Prospector is the first boss you come across. You can find him before his battle at his gold mine, where you select a stone hoping to find gold, of which you get to keep regardless if you pull gold or not. His whole personality revolves around gold, and the fight reflects that perfectly. In his first phase, he lays down a mule that does no damage and if killed grants the player additional cards, but once you reach his second phase, all your cards have to be gold. By slamming his pickaxe into each one of them, killing them instantly, turning them into golden nuggets, and then placing down a dog to begin to attack you. In Inscryption, this is one of your first moments in the game that you realize how unfair bosses can be. After defeating him, he parts ways with you, allowing you to select a rare card, and then letting you continue towards the next boss. The Angler is the second boss you find in Inscryption. His gimmick is that in the first phase, he will equip his hook and eye over your cards with an anchor icon on the card you most recently played. At the end of his turn, the Angler will pull the selected card to his side, making your card fight for him. The best way I found to approach this fight is to place down a card that has 0 attack damage, so the Angler pulls in a useless card that only hinders him instead of helping him. In the second phase, he removes all of his cards from the deck and begins playing cards called Bait. And, well, it only has 1 health, so why don't we just kill this bait? Do not kill the bait buckets. I repeat, do not kill them. Because if you do kill them, it will summon a shark that takes 0 damage on your turn because it hides with one of its sigils, and it attacks for 4 damage whenever they strike on his turn, meaning it is a nightmare when one of these are summoned. Trying to beat this phase is very easy. Just simply don't, for the love of God, ever kill the bait buckets. Moving on to the second final boss, the Trapper. In his first phase, he will place cards that lay down the trap upon death, which will instant kill any card that attacks said creature. The gimmick of the Trapper comes into play in his second phase, where instead of fighting the Trapper still, he swaps to the Traitor. The Traitor will clear the board of his side and lay down a lot of powerful cards that you must face. However, you are allowed to trade, like his name, with some pelts that you've collected along your journey for the cards that he has laid down. Whatever cards you don't trade with him, he will use to kill you. Whatever cards you do trade with him, you will gain not on your side to play immediately, but within your deck. That is the second final boss. So the best way to beat him is to sacrifice some of your cards for the pelts to trade away all of his good cards, or kill him in one turn before he can strike. After defeating all of the previous bosses, the final boss awaits. Leshy. Leshy will be the most difficult boss fight you have in Inscryption. There are 3 phases instead of the usual 2, of which his first phase encompasses all of the previous boss fights, swapping between them by putting on and off their masks. To beat this, just do as much damage as possible to get this phase out of the way. Transitioning into the second phase, he begins to play death cards, of which are your previous runs from your previous adventures. Making it past this phase can be challenging for the fact that at any time, he can just use one of your most overpowered cards that you made and never pulled, wiping the board and everything with you, having you to restart the entire thing over. But if you made it this far, there's no stopping it. You will know how to handle this phase and push on to the last one. Leshy, out of options, decides to put his scenery to use, taking a picture of the moon and forcing it to fight you. You must somehow kill a moon that has tons of health and fits the entire board before it kills you and everything you have. But this is the last phase of Leshy. If you made it past this point, good job. You beat Leshy somehow after everything you did it. Now all you have to do is take his picture. Hey, thank you for watching. This took me a very long time to make, and you can support me with this by subscribing and all that. I don't know. Regardless, if you want to see more, show me some support with it. I'm gonna try and make more videos like this. I actually really enjoyed making this video. So, thank you. That is all. Good day.